Knip Mode January 2020 went and did something cool. It arrived with this large scale poster showing you all of the line drawings that had come in Knip Mode 2019. And I just thought, how cool and how awesome is that? And they've just given this for free with the issue, and they've even divided it into trousers, blouses, and it's poster size length. Dresses, look at all of them dresses. And I think the idea is that you can stick this up on your wall and you've got all of the line drawings at your beck and call. Well, you couldn't stick it up on the wall, sadly, because it's both-sided, which is a bit of a shame. If they could have figured out a way to do it all on one page. But I thought that this is really cool. So kudos to you, Knip Mode, for that. That's fantastic. Now let's see how the sewing pattern magazines follow through. Okay, so January 2020, nice cover. Love the emerald green. It reminds me of an emerald green fabric that I once worked with, and I love those shoes. I have a similar pair of shoes that I absolutely love. So already just from the cover, loads of goodwill from me, lots of goodwill. So I think the January issue is always a bit of a tricky one because it sets the tone for the rest of the year. My theory is that Sewing Pattern Magazine editors are under pressure to make sure that that first one, you know, it creates enough goodwill for people to think, oh yeah, I'm going to give this another shot this year. Okay, so here we go. Lounge wear, an interesting take on a nightgown. It looks like a kaftan, but it's a night dress. Very, very interesting. So with Knip Mode, you've got all of the sizes available in their full size range. And then we've got some more night wear, leisure wear, sleepwear. And so this is a onesie style or a jumpsuity style, and I'm guessing this is nightwear because it's in the same section as dressing gowns and sleeping stuff. But I'm not a big fan of onesies for nightwear, and that's simply because if you're somebody like me who lives it until the last, you know, like you keep on going on thinking, oh, I'm going to go to the toilet in a bit, I'm going to go to the toilet in a bit, and then you sort of have to go very quickly. By the time you try and take this off, and you know, it's a bit, or even if you're sleeping, waking up in the middle of the night and then having to take it all off, and then yeah. But that's just my own personal thing. I'd like this not as night something to sleep in, but maybe it's something to hang around during the day in. And then we have a house coat, always a very useful pattern to have in your repertoire for when if you ever need to replace it. It's quite interesting that they've put the little loop on the back yoke, because normally I expect it to be on the inside neckline. But I don't know, maybe it's like a Dutch thing. Okay, and then we've got a lovely looking sweater with drop shoulders, so you never have to worry about fitting. I like how they have put any casing in place and they've threaded through a satin ribbon, so it just gives it a little bit extra. You know, you could be wearing your leggings, you could go to yoga in that, and it could just be like your chill out day outfit, and it looks really nice. I quite like that. And then we've got this Maxis style dress. Yeah, I want to say dress. And I don't know why, it's got a drawstring at the bottom. See, this confuses me. I'm somebody who, when I'm walking, I have a very long stride in general. And so if I'm making anything that's quite narrow, I do tend to have to add slits to it, unless if it's like a jersey, a fabric that stretches with my stride. I can't imagine a scenario where I would need to tighten this to shorten my stride. So I don't know. I must be missing something on this one. I mean, it looks very comfortable, and she looks very happy and comfortable. It's pretty cool. Okay. And oh, those jumpers are really I'm always attracted to this style of jumpers. They just look so comfortable and with the neckline. And what's interesting about this one is that it's asymmetrical. So one side has got like a bracelet length sleeve, and then the other side just kind of like has this slouchy drop shoulder look and feel going. And they've played around with the color blocking. Fantastic work. I think that this is going to be a very popular sweater pattern. That's what I think. And then you've got some athleisure wear trousers. They look a little bit too long to me. Not sure what's going on there, but this to me reads as something that is far, far too long. Perhaps they're meant to be like that. But yeah. This is also a good pattern to have in your repertoire, especially when you're traveling around a lot. Having comfortable trousers like this is such a big plus. Oh, and then we've got like these adorable Parkas, which I think if you ever had the time and the inclination to, I suppose this could be like one of those really awesome, big, epic projects that you could challenge yourself to actually sew up. I am not there yet, but this looks really funky. And it looks like it will also be available in the Nippy, which is the kiddie Knip Mode sewing magazine. And then we've got this very interesting cocoon style cardigan, which I'm pretty sure I've seen before. I think I saw an issue last year that had something similar, but it does look really fun. It really looks like a fun sort of cardigan to have, and you could play around with textures to create something outstanding. And I love the congruency of the design elements. So there's this slanted seam which creates the pocket, and that is in the same sort of plane, the same angle as where the drop shoulder is. I mean, I'm not too sure how practical these pockets are. I can't tell how deep they go just based on her imagery, but I'd just be a little bit worried about the angle of these pockets. But I think that that's pretty cool. Quite like that. And you can see it on here where it's sort of like, so now it's got this really chunky, oversized sweater look going. Fabulous. Separately, love this popping yellow color that is speaking to me. And then we've got some basic chino trousers. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, less said about them, the better. Chino trousers, yeah. Oh, and look, this is a dance dress. Okay, so you had me at dance because I love dancing. And look at that. It's got like this fringe trim to it where you just sort of like are able to dance. My only beefs with this, right, is that it's a dance dress. Yeah, pretty cool. But why are you going to go and give it a peg silhouette? Because you all know when you're dancing, you need to be able to squat. You need to be able to squat. You need to be able to do the Harlem shake. You need to be able to do the stanky leg. You're not going to be able to do that with a narrow dress like this. So for me, I'd have made this more of an A-line, I guess, or even just gathered it so that you could do a nice twirl. Imagine a twirl with the hem, you know, flaring out and these also flaring out. That would be fabulous. But that's just my own personal opinion. But if you look away from the fringes that give it the extra juju vavavoom, this dress actually does have some very solid, beautiful design features. So you've got the chevron type yoke going on at the back, and you could have a lot of fun with color blocking that. And you can see on the front here, you've got sort of a modern take on a sweetheart neckline. Instead of the gentle curves, it's more angular. And then you've got the waistband panel playing again on those chevron. I think beyond the fringe trim, this has got a lot of potential to be a very nice sheath dress. That's my take on that one. So I don't know, I might consider making that actually, with an A-line skirt, obviously. Right, and then we've got a skirt, a wrap style skirt, which creates an asymmetrical hem. That's always a nice addition in winter, but we've gone with black. And the problem with using black from an editorial perspective you kind of need to really work to get the details to come through. So even me looking at the picture in the magazine, not through the lens of the camera like you guys are, I am struggling to see the details of this, but thankfully they've got the line drawing right next to it, so you can kind of think, oh, okay, so there's a slash pocket over there, there's some top stitching, and you sort of have to guess it for yourself. But black is very tricky editorially speaking. But this is a great skirt. I think that this is going to be a popular skirt. And then you've got this wrap skirt with a flounce, always a popular thing. I'm pretty sure I've seen this in Fiber Mood recently as well. But what's different about this one is that it's got an added slant pocket, so that's pretty cool. And then you've got your simple skirt, pencil skirt silhouette that just goes in with a zip fly front. Basic, they got it right, basic. And then you've got your line drawings here. Yeah, so they seem to have done a new format, and I'll do a separate video talking about the new things that they're going to be doing with Knip Mode. So, you know, fingers crossed, it's a lot more exciting. And then, so for me, this is the biggest problem that I have with Knip Mode. Black and red, this gives me an astigmatism, for want of a better word. So I am never able to trace more than one pattern of Knip Mode at a time because of that, which is a bit of a shame, really. And we'll just carry on through past the instructions and the layouts, and we'll come back to the other patterns that we have. So we have this, oh, this is a really interesting take on the Cardigan. So it's got these extended lapels that you tie at the front. It's very interesting look. Love the popping color that they have used there. And then you've got the shirt with the wrap detail, which is, you know, if you look at the shirt here, you can't tell from this picture, but it actually has a waist seam here, you know. And then you've got this tie with belt thingy, which is not a belt, it's an extended tie. That's what I'm going to call it. It's an extended tie. And then you create this ruching look, as well as any shaping if you're after shaping. So it's one way to make a normal button-down shirt exciting. You lengthen that, and then that becomes a dress. So I quite like the idea of doing the dress more so than the shirt. And what I quite like about this shirt dress is I love those little curved hems on there. There's just, it's a very subtle thing, but there's just something very nice about that. So yeah, okay, this is quite a good one for me. And then we've got the dress with Yanis. Hope I've pronounced that correctly. But yeah, so great line drawing, great details here, because obviously there's a waist dart that is matching up to this princess seam line. You've got a sweetheart neckline that goes into these gathered sleeves. It's very beautiful, but I can't see it on the dress. I would have gone with contrasting ribbons here, because I think that these are ribbons that are sewn over so that you could actually see it. I mean, it's a shame to have such a beautiful line detail within the design, but not to showcase it. But that's quite lovely, quite like that. And that's what we have. And then we get to the wrap dress. I actually thought that it was done, but I'd forgotten about the cover wrap dress. Okay, so this looks like a very simple wrap dress to do. Even in the sizing, it's just got the small, medium, large, etc. And it's just made up of these simple pattern pieces. So this is a good beginner wrap dress pattern, in my opinion. And it's got the full step-by-step illustrations of how to actually sew this up, which is really cool. I quite like that fabric. I think I saw that at on the Stuff and Steel catalog site. Okay, and then we've got that top that I said is probably going to be incredibly popular, but this time it has been lengthened into dress, and they've gone so 80s. I don't know about you guys, but I am getting such a strong 80s Miami Vice vibe from this. And you can see here, I mean, this is excellent use of fabric to highlight the seam lines and the contrasting weirdness of the design. So you've got here that looks like a normal Breton dress, but then you just sort of like cut it out, and then you cut it out there, put in another chunk of fabric, and then make the stripe go in a different direction. Beautiful. I think that this is something that would probably be popular in my opinion. And then you've got another variation of it where you've gone with the dark, and then you do the pattern on the insert. It's almost like cubism, isn't it? It's like you're taking, you know, a normal shape, and then you're sort of sticking a cube in it. It's like art. And then we have, this dress is so cute actually. And you can see how versatile it is given the different fabrics that they use for it. It's made in a jersey. And it's got this, I think this is called a portrait neckline. I think it's called a portrait neckline because if you look on here, you've got your sweetheart neckline style, but above here it sort of narrows in to the width of the neckline. So yeah, so that's quite nice. Quite like it in the stripe. I think that that's quite nice in the stripe. One thing that Knip Mode really excels at is showing you the different, what the dress would look like using different fabrics, which is really, really cool. And then it's the same dress again, but instead of the A-line skirt, we've got more like a pencil skirt silhouette. And there we go. We've got tartan, polka dot, and floral. It's been stretch crepe. Yeah, so you'd have to make this one with stretch fabric because it doesn't have a zipper or anything like that. But you could just as easily add a zipper if that's your thing. But I quite like that, especially with the A-line skirt over here. So I might make that. So that is Knip Mode January 2020. I think that was a good showing. Definitely like some of the styles in there. I think I might have a go at making this top simply because I think it'll be a lot of fun to have the casing that you can tighten or loosen at will. I hope that you found this post useful and that you enjoyed it. And if you did, please do give it a big thumbs up down below. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. I put out new sewing related content 2 to 3 times a week. And until I see you next time, happy sewing. Bye.